call me Child. No, not at all. It's an alias of sorts. In Mondstadt, I don't suppose you came across a Senora by any chance. Oh, no, don't worry. I'm not looking for a fight. Senora gave you quite the bad impression, huh? That woman. Can't say I'm a fan either. Right, let's forget all about her, shall we? I'm here to help you. Yes, help. Come now, don't be like that. Sure, I may be one of the Harbingers, but hear me out. I'm not a bad guy. Oh, okay, perhaps I'm kind of a bad guy, but I'm not here to give you any trouble. Would it be too much to ask for you to keep the sword sheathed? I thank you for your knightly nobility. I heard of your deeds in Mondstadt, so I couldn't help but notice you during the proceedings back there. And because I had my eye on you the whole time, I know it wasn't you. Someone else was clearly behind it. But, regrettably, given I'm a Fatui envoy from Snezhnaya, there's no way I'd be trusted after something of this magnitude. The ruling Qixing of Liyue has always been overly suspicious of us. Guess I shouldn't try to deny that. Okay, sure. Maintaining a distance between strangers is probably a good idea. Either way, I'm already used to it at this stage. But right now, if you want to clear yourselves of any suspicion, you need to get yourselves to Northland Bank. Staying here isn't an option. As the old Liyue saying goes, the walls have ears. Correct. This bank was opened here in Liyue by Snezhnaya. Though everyone knows Liyue is the most enterprising in Teyvat, Snezhnaya is not short of change either. Here, let me give you this. I'm not sure exactly. Sometimes all money can buy is things, and not a name for oneself. All I know is that it's a sigil. A sigil to keep the mighty and illuminated Adepti from bringing harm to you. If you head north from the harbor, then west from Guili Plains, you will eventually reach a stone forest known as Jueyun Karst. The people of Liyue believe it to be the abode of the Adepti. Legend or not, they believe it. As such, offerings to the Adepti are made at its borders. Nobody dares venture in. But I have no need for believing, not when I know for a fact that the Adepti truly exist. Oh, my little friend, there are plenty of reasons mortals seek the blessings of Adepti. Money, health, love, but you will go for justice. The Qixing will already have dispatched the Millelith. They'll be seeking out the assassin from amongst the onlookers. But how could a mere mortal kill a god that can sweep aside entire armies? Rex Lapis never gave up his power as a god. This level of crude response is beyond what is called for. How suspicious. Or to hide something else. Hard to say. Your thinking is even more radical than my own, honorary knight. Even now, the Northland Bank wouldn't be able to hold the Millelith off for long, but the Adepti can clear you of any wrongdoing. Liyue was founded by the Geo-Archon and the Adepti. Of course, it was built by force. Look for them, and be faster than the Qixing's messengers, so you may give your version of events first. If there is anyone that can help you in Liyue now, it can only be the mighty and illuminated Adepti. You finally returned. How was your journey to Jueyun Karst? I see. Moon Carver, Mountain Shaper, Cloud Retainer, Conqueror of Demons. Some of these names have never come up in the intel the Fatui gets hold of. As a returning gift, I too have information for you. Regarding the Archon's passing, the Liyue Qixing's response really has given me food for thought. They've announced that, as the true killer has not yet been found, they are not allowing anyone to pay their respects to the Exuvia. They've even gone so far as to try and cut off information. But with the right of dissension and all, even the Qixing isn't able to keep a lid on things. It's common knowledge in Liyue that Rex Lapis is also an Adeptus. The Geo-Archon is also the god of contracts, and is also known as the Exuvia, prime of the Adepti. The mighty and illuminated Adepti of today all signed contracts to protect Liyue way back then. Naturally, they both have the responsibility and the aptitude for the job. If the ruling Qixing became unable to perform their duty properly, the Adepti have the right to take corrective action. The Geo-Archon's spirit has risen, so why would the Qixing hide his vessel, Truly suspicious. Oh, you're trying to find the 7? And just why might that be, pray tell? Nice answer. A knight that gets duped by the Fatui would really be no knight at all now, would they? But I can help you with that too, you know. Give me some time. Time to find someone. Someone who can help you break through this stalemate. Truly fascinating. The harder they try to silence the situation, the greater the chaos that erupts. If you want to be around to see it all come crashing down, best you stay alive until we next meet, yes? Aha, you made it. As promised, I have found someone who can help you. Someone who can solve the mystery of why the Liu Qixing would hide the Geo-Archon's vessel. He certainly is. Come, I'll introduce you. I took the liberty of setting up a business dinner, as per the Liu custom. Allow me to introduce Mr. Zhong Li, consultant to an organization known as Wang Sheng, and a trusted associate of the Fatui. Indeed, Wang Sheng's line of work can be sensitive at times. Let's just say they understand when discretion is needed. And we, the Fatui, have always been glad to do business with friends who walk in the shadows. Did you think he was some sort of hired killer? The Fatui calls many such people friends, but the Wang Sheng funeral parlor does not dabble in such business. Well, ostensibly. Well, they are still... I shouldn't say too much. In any case, I brought you to meet Mr. Zhong Li because... Don't be so surprised. Sure, the Geo-Archon's body has been squirreled away by order of the Tianquan Ningguang. But first, let's hear what Mr. Zhong Li has to say, shall we? Indeed, no amount of consideration can change this outcome. A wise decision. Oh? In our line of work, this means that you want to silence me. How interesting. Draw your sword, we shall... Just kidding. Let's continue, shall we? The Tianquan Ningguang has forbidden anyone from accessing Rex Lapis's vessel, which of course you would need to access if you were to achieve your goal of meeting all of the 7. All right, my bridge building work here is done. Turned out well, didn't it? You can go if you want to. Don't worry about me. I might just have a few more drinks, and get acquainted with these things they call chopsticks in the meantime. Well, allow me. No, I was merely passing through. No way, I was just passing through. I see Mr. Zhong Li's the same as ever. When paying, well, when getting others to pay for him, he neither looks at the price tag nor his wallet. He knows a great deal about money, and about the trials of the common man. He just doesn't consider poverty to be something that could ever happen to him. Or perhaps you could say that he cannot imagine himself lacking money. Oh, by the way, take this bag of money. You probably won't want to let Zhong Li do the bargaining, if you know what I mean. Seems I missed out on some interesting information. I suppose I'll just have to find a more opportune moment next time. All finished then? Splendid. Any leftover cash is yours to keep. A favor for the Fatui should never go unrewarded. Well, how does this sound? You give me the information I need, and maybe I'll leave the Northland Bank's vaults open and unattended for half an hour. You both need to calm down. I don't know what's gotten into you. Just what is this about? The atmosphere got so tense all of a sudden. Everything is fine. I was just informing them that they need not return the surplus Mora. Now if you'll excuse me, I must be going. Coco Goat! Coco Goat! My sides hurt. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe you fell for that. I'm almost in tears over here. Thank you. That was the best laugh I've had in a long time. In return, I'm more than happy to sort out this mess you've managed to get yourselves into. Excuse me, sir. Dr. Baiju, isn't it? Truly honored. I'm Child, one of the Fatui Harbingers. Forgive my audacity, but I see a great many opportunities for us to collaborate in the future. If Boo Boo Pharmacy needed a stable supply of, say, coconut milk, the Fatui could help by setting up a robust and speedy distribution network. That lot is an absolute riot. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I laughed so hard. So, you've been eavesdropping, I hope. What have I missed? Well, Ningguang and her Qixing cronies. What else would they be hiding in the Golden House, if not the Exuvia? I apologize, but I warned you, didn't I? As the old Liyue saying goes, the walls have ears. You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you already seen enough trouble for today? If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Where should I start? Well, I've never been one to beat around the bush, you know. But who could have possibly guessed that the god of Geo would mysteriously perish the very moment I arrived in Liyue, and that the Exuvia would subsequently be hidden away? If it weren't for that lovely little rite of parting ceremony you put together, it would have taken me a whole lot longer to get the information I needed. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Qixing are really pulling out all the stops this time. As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me anyway. The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. But I'm willing to do as the Tsaritsa deems fit. Either way, we now come to my favorite part, a simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle. You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents. Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there? Fighting talk, I love it! Now let's see you live up to it. Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this through. And now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken. Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see it in your eyes. But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another. Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a diversion of sorts. Yes, it appears so. Interesting to say the least. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan. I had hoped it would never come to this, for the weak will be swept away in the process. The truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. I seldom willingly involve myself with the weak. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime. I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest. Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geo-Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath the waves by the Geo-Archon's stone spears ever since. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction? Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it. Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that makes matters a little more intriguing. You call this cooperation between harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know. Well, if it isn't you two, this is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say? Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Signora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think... Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark. Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no? Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always call it as you see it? Ah, fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you. Relax. Once in a while can't hurt. It'll be fine. I know that voice. Why, if it isn't my little brother Teucer! My goodness! What a nice surprise, Teucer. I thought I would have to wait till I return home before seeing you again. How are the others? Sister Tonia and Brother Anthon? Is everybody keeping well? Wait a second. What are you doing here in Liyue, Teucer? How have I not heard anything about this? Teucer, what you did was extremely dangerous. I'm so happy to see you, really I am, but please, promise me you won't do anything like this ever again. I'm not mad at you. I just care about your safety, that's all. If you hadn't met these nice people, things could have been a lot more dangerous for you, Teucer. I hope you said a big thank you to them. Forgive me, it's always family first where I'm from. Don't take it personally. I know we've had our differences up to now, but a few minor quibbles aside, we get on quite well, don't you think? Come on, you know I'm just a pawn in all that, just doing my part. As for who wins, who loses, and how each side deals with the consequences, I prefer to leave all that up to the ones playing the game. I'm much more interested in who wins and who loses when it comes to our little sparring matches. Ha! You're forgetting something about me. I, Tartaglia, spend every second getting stronger. Don't expect to have it quite so easy next time. Maybe not right now. Not while my kid brother is watching. No, not at all. Allow me to formally express my sincerest gratitude for taking care of my darling brother. His safety matters very much to me. Yes, about that. Shh, Look, I only told him that so that he'll look up to me. In the eyes of a child, working with toys must be the best job imaginable, right? I don't want my family to have anything to do with the Fatui's, or should I say Snezhnaya's, darker side. The older ones already know that I serve the Tsaritsa. But Tusser is still so young, and in his eyes... As I was saying, I remain Snezhnaya's greatest expatriate toy seller, currently attached to the Liyue branch of our Institute for Toy Research. Just humor me in front of Tusser, if you would be so kind. Ah yes, Ekaterina. I will deal with the issue of that outstanding payment right away. A bet is a bet, isn't it? And if you lose a bet with an agent, well, you might as well get a little exercise out of it. That's right. As much as I'd love to catch up a little longer, Tusser, duty calls. I'm sure Miss Nice Lady here will be happy to keep you company while I'm out, though. Ah, well, it sounds like Tusser really likes you, and that you've already made a pinky promise to take good care of him anyway. Then I'm in your debt. Here, take this as Tusser's entertainment fund. I want him to have a good time while he's in Liyue, so take him anywhere he wants. If need be, you may find me by the river near Qingshu Pool. I'll see you both around. You know what I'm here for, I trust. Oh, what a commendable imagination. Well, in the Tsaritsa's name, I suppose I should forgive you country bumpkins for your ignorance, for I am... why, yes, of course, for I am, the greatest toy salesman in Snezhnaya. So, will you buy or not? The toys that Snezhnaya produced 3 months ago will run you, yes, 600,000 mora, to be paid in full. I'll say it again. Toys from Snezhnaya, 3 months prior, 600,000 mora paid in full. All right then, I'll make things a little easier for you. I'll join the treasure hoarders. Perhaps you'll be more willing to pay when we're brothers in arms? Well then, why don't you put me to the test, dear seniors? I like to think of myself as quite talented in the field of treasure hunting. An initiation test, eh? Interesting. It's been a while since I've been assessed by someone else. Huh, no problem. Don't blink though, or you might miss it. Well, I have the goods. Here you go. So how'd I do? Pretty well, I'd say. Oh, I didn't pass? I must say, I never imagined that the treasure hoarders would have such strict entry requirements. I see. Well then, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. We get paid, and everyone stays happy. A wonderful outcome, wouldn't you say? Hey now, keep your voice down. Can't you see I'm entertaining some clients over here? Do I have to? Now is hardly the best time. Well, all right then, I'll go. Just give me a moment to catch up with my brother, and I'll be right with you. Yes, Tusser, we have a group of new toy sellers fresh in from the motherland, and I need to go teach them the ropes. I'm afraid you're still too young, Tusser. I'm not sure if you'd understand much of it, and most of it's rather boring anyhow. Why don't you go play with the Traveler instead? Sound good? Please, I'll compensate you. I really do have to go now, Tusser. A lot of people are waiting to see me. I'll see you around, all right? From this day forward, you will honor the oaths you have made to Her Majesty the Tsaritsa, and you will stop at nothing to bring Snezhnaya victory. You shall sweep through this land like the icy winds of the furthest north, as strong as the hoarfrost of Zepelyarny Palace. You will chill the very marrow in our enemies' bones. Her Majesty expects of you loyalty, ruthlessness, and meticulousness. For the trials that we face are harsh, and our enemies are like kites and rattledrums, who shall become redoubtable foes of Mr. Cyclops in the marketplaces of Liyue. This is, of course, an analogy. As they say, the marketplace too is a battlefield. So as your sales manager here in Liyue, I demand that you obey my every order. A refusal shall be considered a betrayal, and the price for betrayal is to be dishonorably discharged from the Liyue Institute of Toy Research. Seeking to please everyone pleases no one at all. Time to try something else. Forget it. Perhaps a round of hands-on training will suit us better. After all, a strong body is the proof of one's capacity. Am I hearing a hint of objection to this idea? That's the spirit! Now come at me, you lot! Well then, do you all understand what I said earlier? Excellent. And you all almost managed to get me limbered up. In other words, you've done well for new recruits. All right, hush now. Now then, I wish you all glorious victory for Snezhnaya, for Her Majesty the Tsaritsa, and for yourselves. Dismissed! Oh, Tusser, what in the world are you doing here? There I was thinking that the Traveler had taken you to play at Wangshuin. I told you, didn't I? I never pass on an opportunity to improve my strength. I'm not the man I was when we first met. By that, I assume you mean that I didn't use the Foul Legacy transformation, yes? You must mean my Foul Legacy transformation. It puts a great strain on my body, so it's best saved for crucial moments. I still haven't fully recovered from the injuries I suffered when I used it at the Golden House. Anyway, I'm no Signora. I don't use lethal force against recruits. Come on now. Now, Tusser, fighting isn't about looking cool. You can only continue to get stronger if you know the reason why you're fighting. I can teach you, but think carefully first. Why do you want to fight? That's a good answer, Tusser. When I return to Snezhnaya, I will start teaching you fighting techniques. Then you'll have to protect Tonya for me. How does that sound? You've had a nice long time here in Liyue, haven't you, Tusser? Isn't it about time that you took the boat back home? Tusser, you know I'm very busy at work. And hasn't it been fun traveling all over the place with a proper traveler? Oh dear, who taught this little devil to bargain? All right, what'll it be? Done deal. After all, you've come all this way for me, Tusser. As your brother, it's only right for me to grant you one last wish before you leave. Let me think. Ah, yes, the Institute of Toy Research is not far at all from Lingzhu Pass. Now, Traveler, you're not the sort of person who would disappoint a kid now, are you? Here we are. Welcome to Liyue's Institute of Toy Research. Based on my limited understanding, I believe this is one of Dottore research facilities. Dottore is another one of the Fatui Harbingers. He loves tinkering with old things. It's a personal passion of his. So, he converted these ruins into a Ruin Guard research lab. No, they have much closer connections to the Abyss, so, strictly speaking, they're as much our enemies as anyone else's. We just do research, nothing more. As to why the Ruin Guards have been moving outside of this area recently, I can only imagine that he's gotten bored of playing around with them and has lost interest in this place. Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. I actually have no idea what this place is like on the inside. Of course I am, but no matter what the danger is, I will parry it. Isn't that what any older brother would do? Even Tusser understands that, now that he knows what he's fighting for. It's the very same reason that's been nestled in my own heart for so many years. All right, follow me. Were they now? What a silly thing for them to say. And you shouldn't go repeating it either, Tusser. You're far too young to be talking about such violent topics. Right. With Mr. Cyclops around, the bad guys won't ever get you. Hey, Tusser, wait up! There's another path over there. Let's move. That's right. But give me a moment over here, Tusser. I need to make sure that everything's safe. Maybe I shouldn't have spoiled him quite so much. Tusser, see that big stone cube in front of you? I need your help. You bet. Now I'll count down from 3, and then we touch it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Back together at last. You're not hurt, are you, Tusser? It is. Impressive, isn't it? Now, how about a little game of hide and seek? I have a surprise for you, you know. Don't worry, you'll have the chance to look for it later. But before that, you have to close your eyes, turn around, and count down from 60. There's not much time. Let's clear all these hazards out. Don't worry, it's all part of the surprise. Hey, no cheating! You skipped a few numbers, you little rascal. It's a good thing that you two found me first. Looks like using the Foul Legacy transformation while I was still injured took more out of me than I thought. I've no idea what I'd do if Teucer saw me like this. Look at me, deflated as a burst balloon. As I recall, you have siblings too, yes? I figured that you probably wouldn't take me out in front of my little brother. Like I said, I can never pass on an opportunity to test my limits. And that's why I, Tartaglia, am always getting stronger. Anyway, childhood dreams are all too easily shattered. Even if you just leave them be, they will fall to pieces all by themselves. So someone has to protect them, right? If you make a promise, you keep it. If you make a mistake, you apologize. And if you give someone a dream, you defend it to the end. That is what family is all about, isn't it? Remind you of something, did I? A fine suggestion, but first, I have a little something for Teucer. Please give it to him on my behalf. Indeed, I had made it to order by a smith some time back. I had intended to give it to him on my return to Snezhnaya, but it seems that it would make a better souvenir at this point. I'll also need you to explain my abrupt departure to Teucer. You'll help me out, won't you? The cold will kill the pinky that once betrayed your friend. The frost will freeze your tongue off so you never lie again. That nursery rhyme brings back so many delightful memories. Teucer taught you that one, did he? All right, thank you. Hey, partings are special moments. If he spent his final moments in Liyue seeing me all haggard and weak like this, that's not a memory I want him to leave with. Still, it is a shame that I couldn't see him off by myself. I should have been the one taking him back. I do have subordinates to escort him, but I still feel a little uneasy. I can't quite explain it, but somehow I felt much more at ease leaving him in your care. And to think that not long ago we... yes, I almost forgot. Remuneration for your services, which I really couldn't have done without this time. One other thing. Don't forget our promise now. Let's have a rematch when we get the chance. This time, with my honor as a harbinger on the line. Regardless of who wins or loses our next bout, I'd also like to invite you over to my home. I'll introduce you to my other siblings, Tonya and Anthon. They're great kids, and I'm very proud of them both. I'm sure that he'll be very excited to see you too. Well, that settles it. I'm looking forward to it. Now, farewell, my friends, till we meet again, in Snezhnaya.